What really unlocks, prosperity, success? Is it just luck? Or maybe connections? Or is there something deeper going on?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, today we're going to dig into this idea of a master key. It's a concept that honestly sounds like it could fundamentally change things for you.
It really could. And our deep dive today, it's drawing heavily from Napoleon Hill's work, The Psychology of Wealth, The Practical Guide to Prosperity and Success.
Right.
What's so powerful here is that Hill wasn't just like thinking this up in isolation. He actually studied over 500 incredibly successful people.
Yeah.
We're talking Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Andrew Carnegie.
Giants. He basically reverse engineered their success.
Pretty much, yeah. He distilled what made them tick.
Okay, so our mission for you today is to really unpack this master key to riches concept from Hill. We want to explore these, well, timeless principles. Because if you understand them and actually apply them, they can lead not just to, money,
Right, not just financial wealth.
but a truly rich life in every sense. And you'll see how these ideas, even though they're generations old, are just as relevant, maybe even more relevant today.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
So if we're talking riches, where does Hill say it all starts? Like the foundation.
It sounds almost too simple, but it all begins as a state of mind. All riches, whatever kind.
State of mind.
Yeah, and here's the kicker. Your state of mind. That's the only thing you have complete, total, unchallenged control over.
That's a huge claim.
It is. He basically says, look, positive thoughts, positive actions, they lead to positive results. It seems obvious, maybe.
But it's not easy.
Exactly. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it all the time. The consistency is the hard part.
And that really is the challenge, isn't it? Simple, but definitely not easy. That discipline. Which I guess brings us right to the master key itself. What is it, fundamentally?
Right.
What power does it unlock?
Hill says the master key is, well, it's the power of thought itself.
Right.
Attainable, he argues, through really strict self-discipline, mastering your own mind. He says you can literally think yourself into or out of any circumstance of life.
Wow. So you're saying our mental approach basically dictates our reality.
That's the core idea. It puts all the agency right back on us, which is probably why most people struggle with it. It's hard to believe you have that much control, or maybe it's just hard to maintain that mental discipline consistently.
And it's really important, you mentioned this earlier, Hill isn't just talking cash here. He has a much broader view of wealth, the 12 riches of life.
Yes. He lays out 12, but a few really stand out. Top of the list, a positive mental attitude.
He calls that the greatest of all riches.
He does. And it's not just, feel-good advice. He sees your internal state as the primary driver of your circumstances, not just a reaction to them. It's almost startling how much power he gives just to thought.
Yeah, given how often we blame external stuff.
Right.
He also talks about a labor of love. I like that phrase. What does that mean for him?
Oh, that's a big one. He says there's basically no richer person than someone who's found work they love and is just immersed in doing it.
So finding joy in what you do, self-expression through work.
Exactly. Not just a job, but a source of real satisfaction and purpose. That's core to his idea of wealth.
And that connects to another idea, right? Shared riches. This one's interesting. Riches you don't share just die.
Yeah, they wither and die is how he puts it. Whether it's money or, intangible things like knowledge or goodwill.
You have to give first to get.
To get, one must first give. Plain and simple. Generosity and collaboration aren't just nice to haves, they're fundamental. They actually fuel sustained prosperity.
Okay, that idea of shared growth, collaboration.
Yeah.
That leads us perfectly into the next big principle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The one he called the mastermind.
Yes, the mastermind. This is where things get really powerful, multiplying your own efforts.
So how does he define it? It's an alliance of two or more minds.
Blended in a spirit of perfect harmony and cooperating for the attainment of a definite purpose. And that word harmony, you picked up on it, that's everything.
Right, without the harmony, it's just cooperation?
Yeah,
Maybe, but not a mastermind.
exactly. Harmony is the key to its power. And the examples he gives are, frankly, amazing. Andrew Carnegie built this huge steel empire, made 40 of his laborers into millionaires.
Incredible.
He directly credited his stupendous achievements to applying the mastermind principle. He felt his real wealth was understanding how he did it, and he wanted that shared. It wasn't just getting smart people together, it was getting them working in perfect sync.
And it wasn't just business tycoons. You mentioned Thomas Edison.
Right, Thomas Edison and his wife, Mrs. Edison, they had daily mastermind meetings. He considered those meetings his main source of inspiration. She saw how valuable her interest was to his work and made sure nothing got in the way.
That shows the power, even in a personal relationship, that shared vision.
Absolutely. Hill even points to the American form of government, the Constitution, as an example of the mastermind principle in action, creating wealth, power, and freedom.
Wow.
And it scales down, too. Successful sales teams, he noted, use regular meetings. Why? To temporarily merge everyone's minds into a mastermind, generate ideas, solve problems together. That's stimulus.
Okay, so how does this apply to, us? Our personal lives?
Yeah.
It sounds like it needs this incredibly high level of sync. Is it really possible outside of, like, huge corporations or famous inventors?
He argues it is, and that it's vital. Think about a harmonious relationship. A husband and wife, say, working together with complete harmony, understanding a single purpose that creates a priceless asset.
It could lift them up.
To great heights of personal achievement, he says. But the flip side is true, too. Disharmony. That can completely wreck someone's chances, even if they have everything else going for them. A supportive partner, a pleasant home life that can soften the blows you take out in the world. It's about that true partnership where the whole is way more than the sum of its parts.
So mastermind is that deep fusion, that harmony for a specific goal, but then there's just cooperation. What's the difference there?
Yeah, cooperation is maybe broader. It's a relationship that can happen without that total fusion of minds. It's more about reciprocal action, give and take.
The core idea being?
Pretty simple. You get others to cooperate with you by first cooperating with them. You have to be the one to offer value first.
It sounds like common sense,
That's right.
almost. But he gives a great example, right? The filling station guy.
He does, yeah. The manager who goes the extra mile, wipes your windshield, checks your tires, dusts the car. Stuff he's not asked to do, not paid extra for.
Why do it then?
To build loyalty. To offer service that's a bit different. It connects back to another principle we'll get into, going the extra mile. It puts people, in a good way, under obligation to you. And Hill says it pays compound interest on compound interest eventually.
Okay, so we've got the power of the mind, the importance of collaboration. But how do you actually do this stuff? Put it into action. Where's the starting line?
The starting line, according to Hill, is crystal clear. Definiteness of purpose. That's it. Success begins right there.
Definiteness of purpose. Why is that so critical?
Well, for one, it's rare. He claims procrastination stops 98 out of 100 people from even choosing a definite major purpose for their life.
98 of 100. Wow.
Yeah. But if you do have one, the advantages are huge. It builds self-reliance, initiative, imagination, enthusiasm, self-discipline, focus. It helps you manage your time, spot opportunities you'd otherwise miss.
And the stories he tells really drive this home. Walter Chrysler.
Right. Limited education, limited money, but huge success. Hill observed that everything Chrysler needed to make his definite purpose real just seemed to fall into place, almost miraculously.
Like the universe conspiring to help once the purpose is clear.
Kind of. Then there's the insurance salesman, Mr. Chase. Aiming to sell a massive $2 million policy. He went in with such definiteness of purpose that was supported by faith, while others failed because they were cynical or doubtful. He succeeded.
That faith element seems key, too. And even historical figures, like Caesar.
Julius Caesar, yeah. Burning the boats before battle. Talk about commitment.
No retreat possible.
Exactly. It forced a definite decision. Win or perish.
Yeah.
And they won. It shows that level of just utter commitment needed.
So knowing what you want isn't enough. You have to be decisive, committed. And that commitment, that action, it's reinforced by another habit, isn't it? Going the extra mile.
Yes, the habit of going the extra mile, which means willingly doing more service than that for which he is paid, and crucially, doing it on your own initiative.
That sounds almost countercultural today. People want fair pay for fair work, quid pro quo.
It does seem that way sometimes, but Hill gives these incredible examples. Charles M. Schwab started as a day laborer for Andrew Carnegie, earned a good salary, $77,000 back then.
Which was a lot.
A huge amount, but Carnegie gave him a $1 million bonus.
$1 million. Why?
Purely for his willingness to go the extra mile, for setting that example. Carnegie said the salary was for the work, the bonus was for the initiative, for doing more than asked.
That's quite a return on going above and beyond.
Isn't it? And it wasn't just Schwab. Frank W. Woolworth, the guy behind the 5 and 10 cent stores, that huge chain,
Yeah.
he apparently stumbled upon the idea for it by going the extra mile,
Yeah.
experimenting, trying things without being told, without extra pay, just trying to offer more value.
So this habit, it creates a sort of positive debt. People feel obligated to you.
In a way, yes. Hill says it pays compound interest on compound interest,
Wow.
and it makes you indispensable. Even, he notes, to greedy employers, they wouldn't want to lose someone like that.
Because you're just too valuable.
Exactly.
And all these consistent actions, the definite purpose, going the extra mile, these habits, they lead to something bigger he calls the law of cosmic habit force. That sounds cosmic.
It does sound grand, yeah. But the idea is pretty grounded. He describes it as nature's method of giving fixation to all habits so that they may carry on automatically.
Like grooves getting deeper.
Exactly like that. Every time you repeat a thought or an action, you carve that groove deeper in your mind, making it more automatic. It's like the universe helps reinforce your patterns, whether they're good or bad.
So the takeaway is
That every man is where he is and what he is because of his established habits of thoughts and deeds. So, this whole philosophy is designed to help you consciously build the habits that get you where you want to go.
it's not just what you do, but how you consistently think. And that thinking becomes automatic, like a self-fulfilling loop.
Precisely. And it can work both ways. He states it starkly. Success attracts more success, and failure attracts more failure. He even links poverty directly to poverty consciousness, always thinking about, fearing, talking about lack.
Like Henry Ford living on the side of the street opposite the things he did not want, focusing only on the desired outcome.
Exactly. Relentless focus on the positive goal, not the feared negative.
Okay, and what about the ego in this? Ego often gets a bad rap these days.
Hill sees it differently. He calls the ego the organized dictator of the body, controlling thoughts and actions. And people who achieve great things, they deliberately feed, shape, and control their own egos. They don't leave it to chance.
So the cosmic habit force takes the picture you paint of your ego.
And translates it into its physical equivalent. So Henry Ford's ego was powerful and healthy, hale and rich, because Ford was consciously controlling it, shaping it, using it constructively. It's about building that strong, positive self-image that reality then tends to conform to.
There's even that story, right?
Yeah.
About the woman who basically reprogrammed her husband's ego.
Yeah, the clever woman who built up her husband's confidence, fed his ego, helped him overcome an inferiority complex until he became the successful tycoon she convinced him he could be. It shows the power of shaping self-perception.
Wild. Okay, so this leads us to the inner qualities that kind of fuel all this. Faith, personality, learning from experience.
Exactly. These are the engines. Let's start with faith. Not just belief, but...
A guiding force.
yeah, he calls it a state of mind, the mainspring of the soul. It's what allows you to translate your aims, your purposes, into reality, physical or financial.
He says it defies analysis by the entire scientific world.
Right. It's a power we can't fully dissect, but he insists it's available to anyone who learns to control their mind. Think about Edison again.
Failing 10,000 times with the light bulb.
But his faith kept him going. That unwavering conviction, even when everything seemed to be proving him wrong, that's the kind of faith Hill is talking about.
That's incredible persistence. Okay, what about a pleasing personality? Sounds a bit superficial, maybe? Is it really that critical?
Hill argues it's absolutely crucial, and it's something you can acquire, learn. He quotes a successful guy who said he'd rather have a pleasing personality than his Harvard degree.
Wow, really? More valuable than Harvard.
That's what the man claimed. Believed he could achieve more with the personality alone. Hill also links it to good showmanship, how you present yourself, how you make people feel.
Like that story about Lincoln. Early in his career, he met some arrogant lawyer.
Yes, and that lawyer's lack of a pleasing personality, his arrogance, came back to bite him years later when he needed something from President Lincoln. That first impression stuck.
So it has real consequences. What makes up a pleasing personality then?
Things like your handshake, your voice tone, sincerity, being unselfish, having enthusiasm, honesty. Basically, cultivating genuine warmth and making people feel comfortable and valued around you.
Makes sense. Then he gets into the power of love. That sounds
Or
pretty profound.
he calls love man's greatest experience. He even says it brings communication with infinite intelligence.
Oh,
Yeah. And when you blend love with the emotions of sex and romance, he says that's where genius comes from, creative vision. He calls them the eternal triangle of achievement known as genius.
okay, the sex part.
Mhm.
Hill has strong views on that, doesn't he? Often misunderstood.
Very strong views. He sees the sexual urge as the strongest, most powerful, and most impelling of all human desires. But the key is transmutation.
Transmutation, like
Yeah.
changing its form.
Exactly. Channeling that incredibly powerful energy away from purely physical expression and into other constructive channels, work, creativity, ambition. He believed doing this could raise one to great heights of genius.
And he observed that men don't really hit their stride until after 40.
Yeah, he suggested it was often because they dissipated too much of that vital energy earlier through, well, overindulgence. It's about focusing that intense drive, not wasting it.
Channeling that raw creative force. He gives examples here too, right? Lincoln again?
Yes, his love for Anne Rutledge. Hill suggests the profound sorrow from her loss helped turn Lincoln from mediocrity towards greatness, focusing his energies. And Henry Ford's wife, Clara,
She was a big inspiration for him.
huge. According to Hill, even if biographers don't always highlight it, it shows the potent, sometimes unseen influence of these deep emotional connections.
Building on that resilience, the philosophy also talks about profiting by failures, or he calls it temporary defeat.
Yeah, that distinction is absolutely key for Hill. Every adversity, he says, carries with it the seed of an equivalent benefit.
So it's not failure unless you accept it as failure.
Exactly. Temporary defeat is just nature's way of testing you, tempering you, making you stronger, forcing you to learn. Think of Helen Keller.
Despite everything, she found that inner power.
She contacted that power from within and used it, becoming this incredible inspiration. Or Franklin D. Roosevelt. After polio took the use of his legs, he could have given in to fear. Instead, he took the faith road right to the White House.
So great people see setbacks as
a challenge to greater effort backed by greater faith. It's not a stop sign, it's a prompt to dig deeper.
but there's still that enemy lurking, fear,
Yes, fear. He calls it the arch enemy of mankind.
and it shows up in different ways.
In many ways.
Yeah.
Fear of poverty, fear of criticism, ill health, losing love, getting old, losing liberty, all these fears.
And the antidote is always
faith. And a positive mental attitude. He constantly reminds us that most of the things we fear only exist in our own minds, our imaginations. They're mental constructs that stop us from acting.
Okay, one last piece here. Education. Hill's definition seems broader than just school.
Much broader. For him, real education is knowing how to get whatever you need for your definite purpose without harming others. It's about observation, learning from experience, seeing your daily work as a schoolroom.
Constantly learning.
Constantly. And interestingly, he says the best way to really absorb this whole philosophy, to make it yours, teach it to someone else.
Teaching to learn it.
Exactly. When you explain it, you solidify it for yourself.
Okay, wow. So we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
From understanding that riches start in the mind, that you have total control over your mental attitude.
To getting crystal clear on a definite purpose, harnessing the power of the mastermind through harmony.
The discipline of going the extra mile, and how cosmic habit force locks in our patterns.
Then adding the inner fuel, faith, a pleasing personality, channeling the power of love and emotion, and crucially, learning from every single temporary defeat.
It's quite a complete system.
You now have right here a complete philosophy of life, as Hill presents it. Enough, he claims, to solve pretty much any individual problem.
So the final thought for you listening. Knowing all this, knowing your thoughts attract like energy, knowing the law of cosmic habit force works to make your mental picture real. How are you going to use this?
Yeah, what specific intentional step, maybe just one step, will you take starting now? How will you begin conditioning your mind, shaping your own ego, to actually manifest the riches in whatever form that you truly desire?